Well, welcome to the Hi-Crest neighborhood. One of the concepts that we talk about often at United Way is this concept that place matters. We know from lots of research from experts all around the country that neighborhoods and your surrounding neighborhood are important factors for determining student success and overall success for families. Most importantly, we know when it comes to school success, research and studies tell us that the zip code a child is born into can have a greater impact on their eventual success than their genetic code. So I'll say it one more time. The zip code that a child is born into can have a greater determinant on their future success in school than their genetic code. So knowing that, we know just how important it is to invest in work happening in neighborhoods around the city of Topeka. And so that's one of the reasons why we brought you here to Hi-Crest today. For those of you that have been around the Topeka community for a little while, you might have heard of Hi-Crest. And you know that it is a neighborhood and a community that has had some significant challenges over the years, but is also in the midst of facing some tremendous opportunities. Just to give you a little bit of context to help understand the neighborhood more, so this is a neighborhood where the vast majority of individuals in the neighborhood are folks who rent their homes. We know that for a large part of the neighborhood, the median income hovers right around $18,000 a year. So we know that there are significant challenges with housing happening in this neighborhood. We know that for the Topeka Rescue Mission, when they looked at neighborhoods where individuals were going after they left the rescue mission, Hi-Crest was a popular neighborhood where a lot of those folks settled into after leaving the rescue mission. So in fact, oftentimes there are some residences in this neighborhood that have been described as being homeless but with a roof over their head, because we know that the living conditions for folks in the neighborhood can be quite challenging. Some other things to know, some other challenges that face this neighborhood. The Hi-Crest neighborhood actually has the second highest infant mortality rate in the state of Kansas. So we know that that poses significant challenges for families, especially in terms of our early education work and those sorts of things happening in our community. We also know that this is the neighborhood that has the highest rate of child in need of care, of SINC cases, in the Topeka community and in Shawnee County. And we also know it's a neighborhood where about half of the youth express a gang affiliation by the age of 13. And so we know there's a neighborhood where there are tough challenges to face and to take on. However, there are resources like this building right here, the CRC Care Center. For those of you that are natives of Topeka or from around here, you might recognize this as the former Avondale East Elementary School. A few years ago, when the school stopped operating, Topeka Public Schools actually leased the building to the Community Resource Council. Community Resource Council, much like United Way, is a nonprofit that works with a number of agencies to empower them and give them tools and resources to succeed in our community. So with CRC as the landlord, they actually work with a number of United Way partners to house them in this building. So in the CRC Care Center, you'll find offices for the YWCA, for our partners at Community Action, as well as an organization called Mirror, Topeka Public Schools Parents as Teachers Program, and a newer organization called SENT, Strengthening and Equipping Neighborhoods Together. SENT has done some really remarkable work in just a short time, really working to address housing challenges in the Hi-Crest neighborhood. And the reason why this work is so important is because these agencies are embedded in the neighborhood and they're working hand in hand with residents to empower residents to be able to work on their community. It's not agencies coming in and saying, this is what you need to do. It's having conversations with residents and coming alongside and working with residents together on how we can work with them cooperatively and together to strengthen and improve their entire community. So we know lots of really great work is happening here to engage residents together. This also allows us an opportunity to talk about access. We've talked about access a lot in terms of access to opportunities and lack of access and equity issues throughout our community. Just to give you a little bit more of an idea of what that looks like, I mentioned one of the partners here is Topeka Public Schools Parents as Teachers Program. And so they do a lot of work with families in the neighborhood. One of the folks from that agency relayed the story to us not too long ago about a parent that they're working with here. And the parent educator had been working with that parent for quite some time. That parent was an extremely proactive parent, extremely active participant in the Parents as Teachers program. They were doing a home visit with that parent, and they came in and they saw that the home was clean, baby was clean, there was enough food in the home, everything looked good. They're kind of going through the list and checking off everything they needed to do, found that the home and everything was in good condition, and the parent educator at one point got down on the ground and was kind of playing games, making silly noises, doing all those things you do, with babies and things like that when they're younger. And the mother was kind of looking at her, kind of a strange look on her face. And after a few minutes went by, the parent educator asked if the mom had been making noises and singing songs, talking with the baby, that sort of thing, with her newborn baby. And the mom just kind of looked at her with a strange look on her face. And the mom said, "You mean my baby can hear me?" And again, this is a newborn, but a couple months old at that point, and this mother didn't know that not only could the child hear her now, but could actually hear her before she was even born. And so when we talk about lack of access, not only do we mean resources, but we often mean lack of access to education as well, to information. And so that is a mother who was doing everything that she knew right to do and loved and cared for her child, but she didn't have access to know that critical piece of information to help in her child's development. And so that's why the work that these partners do in this facility and in conjunction with United Way is so very important to furthering our work in the community.